Where do lessons take place? Okay, I've attached an ebook below which goes into this in more depth, but from my experience there seems to be 4 possibilities of where the lessons can take place. The first is online, the second is a central location, the third is the tutor's home, and the fourth is in the tutee's home. There's obviously advantages and disadvantages to each approach. For example, if you're tutoring a child with, that's either younger or has a short attention span or just a lack of interest, you may find that working online with them, because you're not in the same physical environment, you're going to struggle to hold their attention. And working online, you're also far more restricted to the resources that you're going to have available to use. However, having said that, with working online, you obviously have no travel expenses, you're not having to spend time travelling between lessons, and pretty much as soon as the lesson's finished, you disconnect the call and that's it, done. Which has, like I say, pros and cons. The next suggestion is working in a tutor centre. These can be fantastic. From a tutor's point of view, you've got all your resources to hand, and there's normally other people working around, so you're not working in isolation. There's a lot to be said for that. However, you're probably going to be working with small groups, so I have found over the last few years that when you are working in a small group, you often get rivalry, which can be great because it helps push the lesson along, but then you can also find that the weak link in the group just starts to feel worse about themselves because they're continuing to have to, because they're in another situation like they are in the classroom where they can't compete, and so it can be detrimental to the needs of that particular person. But it can put the price up, because obviously on top of you earning an income, you also need to pay for the cost of the hall and any insurances and anything else. So that's something else you need to bear in mind. Another option is to carry out the lessons in your own home. So the tutee would come to you, which again is great because you've got all your resources around you. You don't have any travel time. I've spoken to a lot of parents about this, and a lot of them say that they don't feel they can build a rapport with the tutor because their child goes in, they're left on the doorstep, and then their child comes out to them again at the end of the lesson. And the problem with this is it's the parents which are going to be paying your wages. So you really need to build that rapport with them, and the quicker you can do that, the better your business will grow. So, and another thing you'll need to bear in mind is you will definitely have to have a CRB check. I mean, to prove to parents that they're going to be safe leaving their child with you. At the minute, there aren't any guidelines as far as I'm aware on this in this country, but if you're a childminder, everyone in the house over the age of 16 would have to be CRB checked. If you're a tutor, I recommend you do the same thing, just because that way you're safeguarding yourself. The final option is that you travel to the tutee, and this is the method we've always used because I'm a firm believer that if the tutee's in their own home, they're going to be far more relaxed and in a better state of mind to concentrate than they are if they have to go to someone else's house. The other thing is, however, you do need to bear in mind that whether you're working in your house or the tutee's house, that you are going to need somewhere quiet to have the lessons. For example, they might have a kitchen table that you can work on where you're not going to be disturbed, or it might be that there's a desk in an office or something that you can go in. But what you don't want is you're trying to do a lesson and you've got people constantly passing through, because it's a distraction for yourself and it's a distraction for the child. I hope that's helped. Download the ebook, and any questions, please do get in touch.